Hello, everybody. Good morning from Plymouth. Good afternoon, good evening to you, wherever you may be in the world. And you are very welcome to this final pre-departure briefing for University of Plymouth International College for all of the new students who will be joining us in January. So just a few weeks away now. So we really look forward to welcoming you. Over the next half an hour or so, we have a packed agenda to go through. So we'll introduce you to all of my colleagues on the call. We'll talk about all of the services available through our student hub. We have Ellie from our preferred accommodation provider who can give you lots of information about our accommodation provision. We'll take you through all of the key dates, so arriving in the UK, everything you need to know about the induction program as well. How to get here. So it's not just about getting from your home country to the UK, it's about how you get to Plymouth once you're in the UK. So we'll go through all of that information as well. For those of you who need an international student visa, we'll talk about the procedures required there. Describe for you our medical centre provision on campus. As I mentioned, induction week, we'll give you the dates for that and take you through all of the really exciting activities that Toby and the student experience team have planned for that. All of the semester dates, the examinations, the start and the end of teaching. We'll introduce you to the University of Plymouth Student Union, which is your representative body on campus. And we'll bring you up to date with all of our social media platforms so you know where to look on all the different platforms for latest information from UPIC. So I said we'd start with some introductions. So I'm Tim Gutzel, Director of Marketing Admissions for UPIC, and then looking at my screen immediately to my right is Maria. So would you like to introduce yourself and then pass on? Maria, please.
Yeah, I'm Maria. I'm Senior Recruitment Coordinator based in Port Harcourt, Nigeria. Over to Toby.
Hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the world. My name is Toby Joseph Johnson. I'm the Student Experience Manager here at UPIC. I'll pass on to my colleague, Jake.
Hello, my name is Jake Hutton, and I am one of the Student Experience Officers here at UPIC, and I will pass on to Amy.
Hi there, my name is Amy and I am one of the admissions officers here at UPIC. I will pass to Matthias.
Hello everyone, I'm the College Director and Principal. I'm delighted to be here greeting you. You're going to have an amazing time in Plymouth and I'm looking forward to saying hello to you in the building. And I'm going to pass on to, who am I going to pass on to? Can't find it.
Ellie, I think.
Ellie, over to you.
Hello, I'm Ellie. I work at Clever, which is the accommodation provider. I'm normally the person that deals with any applications that comes in, so you'll probably get some emails from me. I don't know who's next to pass over to.
I think that's it, Ellie. Thank you. Thank you very much. I haven't missed anybody, have I? I think that's all of the UPIC team and Clever as well. There's not very many of us, so you've got a lot of us actually on this call, based in Plymouth, based in Nigeria as well. Maria is based in Port Harcourt. We have another colleague, Ruth, who's based in Lagos. So reach out to any of us about anything at any time. We're a small team and we can certainly share inquiries on. Toby, would you like to introduce your team, the Student Experience team, please?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are the first point of contact once you've, met all the conditions of your offer, you've accepted, you've received your CAS. We're here for all the different kind of questions you may have as you start your journey to Britain's Ocean City. That's what we're called, Plymouth. And yeah, as you start your journey, as you make preparations, as you want to find out what kind of accommodation you'd be living in, what your day-to-day life would be like, that's what we're here to support you with. We do that various different mediums. We do that in person when you come into the college, which is very close to most of the transportation links into Plymouth. We also do that via email, student.experience, and via mobile phone. So if you want to call in and just ask us some questions, you can listen to the friendly voices of myself, Jake, and Anita in the middle there. And yeah, we're just here to make sure that you're as comfortable as possible.
Thanks, Toby. Was that photo taken a while ago?
Why would you say that, Tim?
I don't know. Can't imagine. Thank you for that introduction. So these are your office hours. So the college office hours generally, there's usually somebody here from 8:30. The working day normally winds up for us around 5 p.m. But anyone in the student experience team, you can reach in the building between 9 and 5. Well, there's an out of hours phone line, emergency phone line as well, and that email address that you're welcome to use as well for the student experience team. Back to you, Toby, to talk about Student Hub.
Yeah, so you're lucky in the sense that not only are you studying with UPIC, but you also have both services from the student experience team here at the college, as well as at the university. So the university itself has a big department called the Student Hub, where you can have services from student learning, welfare, counseling, disability, dyslexia, and also student immigration for students who need some, work around their visas or they need some counseling. This is a good hub, and it's a central location in the university library.
The university library is right in the heart of the university campus, isn't it, Toby?
Yes.
And the college itself is just on the edge of the campus, so that literally is 2 minutes walk away. So very easy to access.
Yeah.
Campus map we won't dwell on for too long, because I would just repeat what I just said about the university campus being in the centre of the city. We are just on the edge of the university campus, so a short walk into the city centre and to the waterfront as well. But to give you a better idea of how Plymouth is as a place not just to study but to live, I'm going to pass to Amy, who's going to take us on a virtual tour.
Thank you, Tim. I am just sharing my screen. Tim, can you see Plymouth at the moment?
Yes, can now.
Perfect, thank you. So where I would like to start is at UPIC, which is here, 15 Portland Villas. So if I zoom out, you will see that we are at the end of this tree-lined avenue on the edge of the University of Plymouth campus. So I'll turn slowly around. I tend to make Tim travel sick if I do too quickly. So if I zoom out here, you will see that this is the center of the campus here. And as Toby was just pointing out, we have many of the facilities right here in the campus. So in the same building as the library, you've got the student hub, you've got student immigration, you've got career services, and they are all here in the campus center. The library itself is open 24/7 as well, which is a great access to have. Just around the centre of the campus, we've got some of the actual faculty buildings, such as Roland Levinsky, the Marine building over here, and then we've got Babbage, which is actually a newly renovated building, and which caters for our engineering courses. Just then, if I go over to the left, I'll show you just some of the accommodation buildings that the university has to offer. Then Jake and Ellie will discuss a little more about our accommodation later. But if I just show you one of the examples here, in which I'll take you inside. So this particular example in Gilwell Hall is right across the road from the campus centre. This is an example of a single room. You can see they are bright, they are cosy. And this particular example, while it is not an ensuite, does have excellent shared kitchen facilities. So they are bright, they are open and spacious. And whilst we don't provide the food, we will provide you with recommendations of supermarkets in which you can find cuisine from your country. And I'll show you where they are a little bit later. Just in the distance there, you can see the ocean that is Plymouth Sound. There is Plymouth Hoe. And just before I take you over there, I would like to show you the marina, which is called the Barbican. So you can see here we've got the marine station, which is where some of the marine courses take their students for some practical work. If I turn around, you will see the marina, which is a really lovely place to visit. You've got the Marine Aquarium here, which is an excellent place. Definitely go and see that while you're here. The Barbican itself here is a lovely marina, as I mentioned, with restaurants, cafes, pasty and fudge shops. It's a nice spot for a stroll on a Sunday morning, and you can walk all along here and around by the seafront to Plymouth Hoe. You may have seen some of these landmarks already. So you've got Smeaton's Tower here. You've got the Tinside Lido, which is the outdoor pool. It is not in use at the moment as it is very chilly, but you'll see people swimming at the moment here in the sea. But in the really sunny weather, the Plymouth Hoe here is a really nice place just to spend some time, go for a walk, read a book, go to a music festival, which we will have next summer. Just to give you some perspective of where we are, the marina is over there, so you can walk along here, enjoy the views, and end up here at the Hoe. The university is right back there, and that is less than a mile away, so it will take you 5 to 10 minutes to walk. Just before I take you back there, though, I would like you to see just some of the places you can visit in the evening or more so on the weekend. So over to the left here, in the distance, you've got Royal William Yard, which is another social area like the Barbican, where you can visit nice cafes, nice restaurants, and go for a swim. And then in the distance there, you've got Cornwall, which is a place you should visit on the weekend. It's a really nice scenic area to visit, and we can give you directions on how to get there and advise you on specific places to see. If I take you back across the city, and just before I finish up on the campus, I would like to point out that we've got Drake Circus Shopping Centre here and our main high streets here. I can see on the call we have students from Asia, the Middle East and Africa, so Bangladesh. Whether you're from Bangladesh, India, Ghana, Nigeria, Saudi Arabia, the streets here have supermarkets and restaurants that will offer cuisine from your home country. So there is plenty to do in your free time, plenty to see, things that will help alleviate your homesickness, hopefully, too. I will turn around and finish off just back here. And before I stop at UPick, I would like to show you in the background, we've got Intercity Place, which hosts our Health and Human Sciences courses, and the train station right here. So if you have flown in, into London, and you can take a train 3 to 4 hours down here to Plymouth, you can in 5 to 10 minutes find yourself at UPick, where Toby, Jake and Anita will meet you and help you to enroll. So that is UPick, and this is Plymouth, and we look forward to welcoming you here really soon. Thank you.
Lovely. Thank you, Amy. Just while I'm going back to the presentation, Maria, would you like to share with everybody what your impressions were of Plymouth when you visited last year?
Yeah, I love talking about Plymouth because I love it. And I'm very sure as you come to Plymouth to study, you're going to love it. Yeah, when I got to Plymouth, something very important to me was the people. I was coming from a different country, and I got there, I was met with friendly people. So the people in Plymouth are very friendly. So leaving home, you don't feel you'll be amongst. In fact, even though you're meeting them for the first time, their smiles will make you feel you've known them a long time ago. And the city itself is safe. I could just walk around. Just within the first day of having arrived Plymouth, I could go to the mall myself, move around. I felt safe. So I want to assure you that it's a safe city. It has a very vibrant cultural activities all around that will keep you engaging. So you will definitely love Plymouth. It's a student city, and it's going to help you focus on your studies and achieve the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria. Before passing to Ellie, I'll just do a quick introduction to our accommodation. So it's one of the really positive aspects of Plymouth as a student city, but we have lots of accommodation available. It's very close mostly to the university campus and to the college, and it's very cost effective. So prices typically start from around £100 a week, which may sound like a lot of money, but that can be a half or a third of London or other big city costs. So, but it does compare very well for value. Ellie, shall I pass to you now?
Yeah, thank you, Tim. Yes, as Tim was saying, we we have a range of different accommodation. I know some of you have already booked your accommodation. You've been very on it this year. It's been lovely. So we've got a couple rooms left available, and that varies from just sort of classic double rooms to ensuite rooms to premium ensuite rooms. We do have some studios that we have just taken on for January, which I'll show you some photos of shortly. But yeah, the accommodation that we've got is very affordable. It's very low cost and very close to the university. We do provide a complimentary bedding pack for you as well, because you're not going to have that typically when you arrive in the UK. So that is something that we can help with, and we can help with sort of out of hours check-ins as well, just to make your transition to Plymouth as smooth as possible.
Thanks, Ellie. Do you want to go through those pictures you mentioned?
Yeah, that's fine. I'll just try and figure out how to share my screen. Bear with me.
Tim, I think
So-
if you stop sharing initially, and then I think she can pop in.
Should just say that we have an accommodation application form, just a couple of clicks away from our homepage. So very quick and easy to apply online.
Is that sharing?
Yep, we can see some media here.
Okay, perfect. So we've got some studios in a place called Fox House, which is right by Drake Circus. So we've got a range of studios. So we've got a double studio, which I'll show you some photos of. So they're fully furnished as well. There is an on-site concierge as well for the building.
Yeah, I know where Fox House is. It's quite central in the middle of
It is.
the newly redeveloped
Yeah.
city center. So you got quite quick access to local banks, HSBC, NatWest. You got a lovely coffee shop right outside. There's a game center if that's what you're into, and only a 5-minute walk and you'd be by Smeaton's Tower, where Amy was just showing on the virtual map. So yeah, really good accommodation.
Yes, we've got a couple of different varieties of studio. So this is the King Deluxe ones. This is one of the biggest ones that we have. So they're really spacious sized studios. And we also have single ones as well. So just get that up. Okay, so they've got single beds in those ones, but they're still really good sized studios for those ones.
Fantastic.
Okay. But
Yeah,
yeah,
thank
that's just a couple of photos of the ones that we've just taken on. So they will be available shortly.
Thank you so
Looks
much.
lovely. Thank you, Ellie.
No problem.
So if we have anybody on the call who potentially still has an offer outstanding and haven't accepted your offer, I mean, these are one of the few accommodation that's available. So I would accept your offer. You know, if you want to come and study with us, contact one of the admissions team. Amy or Nico would have emailed you. Provide your outstanding documents, and let's move you to the next stage of the student journey.
So we mentioned that we have an accommodation booking form on our website. Jake, do you want to take us through the stages of what happens once somebody has applied through the website?
Yeah, of course. So I'm sure the people who've already booked accommodation or the people who are looking for accommodation have seen our booking form. It is just in the accommodation bit of our website. So as Tim said, if you fill out the form, that is a really effective way of getting your accommodation. And what you will get is an email from me or Anita confirming that you filled out the form and just helping you to further understand the next steps. What will then happen is a member of the Cleverlets team will be in contact with you and offer you a range of different accommodations for you to choose from. We do recommend that communication is really, really key in this point. So if you want to sort accommodation out quickly as possible, if you see either us or Cleverlets sending you an email, please make sure to respond as quickly as possible to secure the accommodation you want. When this has all been agreed and when you've agreed with the Cleverlets team on which accommodation you want, a tenancy agreement will then be sent to you. All you need to do is read through it, understand, fill out the tenancy agreement. and also pay the deposit that's needed to be paid. And then onto your arrival, it's just important that the right to rent is then filled out so you are eligible to rent the property, and then you can go and collect your keys. I realise there's a lot of steps there, but we do guide you through every single step, so it's quite an easy and simple process.
Thanks, Jake. Airport pickup. Do you want to take that, Toby?
I'm happy to. Airport pickup is arranged in advance, so you need to book via the link provided in that URL. We do really encourage all students never to come out of the airport and straight into any taxi and say you want to come to Plymouth. It is about a 4-hour journey. It will cost you over £800 to £1,000 if you do that. We can book a taxi service, which is around £255 single journey from wherever airport to Plymouth. We also encourage students to, plan in advance, have a look at our pre-departure information that's available on the college website at upic.navitas.com. You just need to go to the furthest tab on your right, which has new students, and it has so much information on there. We've got a pre-departure guide as part of this webinar on there that you can download and have some useful information around the various ways of getting to Plymouth, which albeit by coach, which is a big bus.
We're getting ahead, Toby.
Oh, sorry.
Next
too ahead.
slide.
It's flowing, Tim.
Isn't it?
So yeah, through the train, you can arrive by train, by coach, or obviously the private collection. Train, you can book depending on if you're arriving at Heathrow or Gatwick, which are two of the major airports. You can take the Heathrow Express and then the train line down to Plymouth. If you book in advance, you can actually get some really good offers. The coach is by far the most affordable method of getting to Plymouth. I think you can get a single ticket for around £8 to even £20 if you book well in advance. The advantage of the coach is you don't have to board multiple coaches. You can take a single coach from London straight to Plymouth, and you can keep your bags in one location, so you don't have to be moving big luggage around like you would do potentially on a train.
Thanks, Toby. I would just repeat what you said right at the start there, that please don't think that you can just land at Heathrow or Gatwick and step outside and into a taxi. You can. The taxi driver will be delighted, but it will cost you an awful lot more than if you book in advance. So please do just have this stage of your journey booked, know how you're going to complete it. And as we've said before as well, and Amy pointed out on the virtual tour, both the train station and the coach station are within just a couple of minutes walk of the college, so and in the centre of the city. So everything's very conveniently located once you get here. Understanding your e-visa. Do you want to take that, Jake?
Yeah, I will. I also noticed in the chat first that there's an accommodation query as well about paying rent weekly or monthly. So about without a guarantor. So if you do not have a guarantor, you will have to pay your rent how clever in the terms of your contract. There is possible ways to get a guarantor though. We can send links for guarantor companies which can actually act as your guarantor. So there's various ones online that you can use, and then if you do have a guarantor, there may be possibility to pay weekly or monthly. I do recommend with that to speak to your accommodation provider to understand what they are letting you do and what you can and can't do. That's that question. Okay,
thanks, Jake. Ellie, was there anything you wanted to add on that?
So with Clever, the only guarantor service we would accept is a company called House in Hand. So just bear that in mind if you don't have a guarantor, that you can use them. If you do have a UK-based guarantor, there is some criteria that they would have to meet, but we can always let you know the criteria if you've got a guarantor that you want to use as well. And then that way you can pay either monthly or, as Jake said, weekly for your rent. Normally it would be monthly if you've got a guarantor, but we can have a look and see what options we've got available for you.
Lovely, thanks, Ellie. Jake, back to the e-visa.
Yeah. So I'm sure, as you are all aware, BRPs are being changed onto digital e-visas. Hopefully you've all arranged for your e-visas. The UKVI should have sent an email notifying this. So just a little bit of detail on your e-visas. So your e-visas are fully online. and they connect to your passport. So as it says on the PowerPoint, when you get to the border control in the UK, they can actually see your e-visa online. It's also really, really important to understand that you have a link to your e-visa, so you should be able to access it yourself as well. If you have any concerns with your e-visa or questions about how it works, please send them in or send us an email at the Student Experience inbox and we can try and help you best we can. UKVI should have sent a fully briefed description for you as well. But yeah, if there's any more help with e-visas or you're struggling to set it up, etc., do let us know.
Thank you, Jake. Medical Centre. So to be able to access the university's medical centre, which again is in the heart of the campus, so just a couple of minutes from the college, all you will need to do is register with a local GP. GP is general practitioner, so that's a general doctor here in the UK. Register with a doctor and you then will have access to the university's medical centre, which is very convenient. Enrolment. So in January, we will be enrolling students from Monday the 13th to Friday the 17th of January. And on the day of your registration, of your enrolment, you will need to bring with you your valid passport, your e-visa. Hopefully you'll have a UK phone number and a UK address by then, which we'll need to see. And we would also love to see emergency contact details for 2 people, so their email, phone number, and address. Is that a complete list, Toby? Anything else that our students need to bring to enroll?
Themselves. It's not listed on
I knew I'd forgotten something. Bring yourselves and everything on that list, and everything will be great.
Yes, absolutely. And on that time, there's loads of other events that are going on and welcome talks, as Tim has nicely moved the presentation across. So we always encourage students to arrive during that welcome week, even earlier if they can, because there's so much to experience and we don't want you to miss out on these talks and the people who have actually taken out their time to come and give you a nice induction of what to expect in Plymouth life. If you arrive late, it's not the end of the world, but we feel that you'd get the best possible value for your money if you arrive on time.
I'd agree with you there, Toby. We do have some flexibility around last arrival for undergraduate students more than postgraduate students, but there's lots of content in that induction week, and if you miss all of that, you'll just have that feeling that you're always playing catch up a little bit to catch up with the students who did join us for induction week. There may be gaps that things you won't know about, but you would have known about had you been there for induction week. So we absolutely do encourage you to be here. And as you can see, orientation week 13th to the 17th of January. Teaching starts on the 20th of January. And as I mentioned before, for postgraduate students, the first day of teaching is the last day of enrolment. The pre-masters program is a short program, and if you arrive late for that, you certainly will be playing catch up, and you're jeopardizing your chances of being successful on the program. For undergraduate students, so that's foundation and year 1 programs, we do have some flexibility around late enrolment up to the 31st of January, which is the end of the second week of teaching. But if you possibly can, don't come here on the 31st of January. Turn that number on its head, turn 31 into 13 and come here for the first day of enrolment. That would be ideal if you possibly can. Your accommodation fees balance is due as soon as you arrive here. And the balance of any fees which may be payable is due by the 21st of March. And looking even further forward, undergraduate exams are between the 14th and the 18th of April, by which point you'll have been with us 3 months or so, and the end of the first term is the 18th of April. Students' Union. Do you want to introduce Students' Union, Toby?
Yes.
Dindu is a good story, isn't he?
Yes. So Dindu, the gentleman you can see as the president, was a former, he used to study at UPIC, and he actually sat on our student council, and you can see now he's progressed. And I tell you what, I'm sure, I hope one of you will have the opportunity to be around him when he gives one of his really amazing, inspiring speeches. He's really a student that has, taken advantage of the services and the people around him, and is turning out to, to blossom in society. But it's not just him, it's other members of the team, in VP Education, Activities and Wellbeing and Diversity. They're all here to represent you and, ensure that you're on the right track. So they are your student body at the Students' Union.
Thanks, Toby. I can see we have a question there from Maggie, which might be one for you, Toby, and for Matthias as well. So if a student is bullied or harassed during their studies, what would be the decision to be taken from the campus? How is that handled?
I think we can have a little combo on this, but we take those kind of situations very, very seriously. The well-being and safety of our students are very important to us, and any reports of bullying or harassment is not welcome here at the college or at the university. So there is a step-by-step process of how we would investigate and go over this situation. But I'm sure Matthias as well can add to that.
No, I think you've covered it, Toby. I mean, it's worth saying these situations are very rare. It's a very peaceful campus and a diverse one that's very tolerant, as Maria mentioned when she came to visit as well. But they're very rare. When they do happen, in those exceptional moments, they're investigated very thoroughly and any actions taken quite rapidly to address the situation.
Thank you both. There's another question there as well. The school football team, do they see opportunities to become professional?
Now, Temis, I think you've asked a question here. To be a professional footballer, from studying under, a student visa will be a bit of a challenge. There are football opportunities around, not only in the university, but within the community as well, that you can join in on. Jake and myself play with some students as well, on the odd occasion, on the same sides or against each other, on a Thursday. And there's also different facilities where you can play football. So at the university gym, you can play some five-a-side, some futsal. So there's something for everyone. You can't, however, come and study and then go play for Manchester United or Arsenal, unfortunately.
The standard is high, isn't it, Toby? So yeah, absolutely possible to get a game in the university, outside the university. There are community teams you can play for. So no problem at all to find a game at the level that's right for you. And that can be quite a high level. But the possibility of being paid to play is very slim, to be honest with you. Moving on, what you can see on screen now are all of our social media. So we have a presence on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. I mentioned we'll post a recording of this session on our YouTube channel. Lots of other information there as well. We have LinkedIn as well. So if you want to keep up with what's going on in the college before you arrive here and once you're here as well, those are all of the details that you will need right there. Grocery shopping in Plymouth. Lots and lots of opportunities. I think Amy mentioned before about the different foods from different kind of ethnic and national backgrounds which are available in Plymouth. There really is a wide range. For a relatively small city, it's a very diverse community, and we see that through the food options which are available. So just in the market, for example, there's a Thai restaurant, there's Vietnamese, there is what is there? There's Nepalese food as well. There are West African restaurants. Lots and lots of different options. You can see the names there of major supermarkets. So that is going to be the most cost-effective way to buy food to cook yourself. And you can see there's a bit of a scale there on the slide. So Lidl and Aldi are the least expensive. Then Waitrose is top of the tree there as the most expensive, with others in between. But lots of opportunities for food buying to cook yourself, or lots of cafes and restaurants in the centre of Plymouth if you'd prefer to have your food cooked for you. Although obviously if you do that every day, that's not going to be quite so cost effective. But yes, lots of diverse opportunities for different cuisines. Toby, you like food. Anything I should have mentioned there? And Matthias,
No.
I think your favourite restaurant is in the market, isn't it?
I have an awful lot of favorite restaurants in the market, actually. There's a Nepalese one that's fantastic. It's got fantastic momos. But actually, there's several Thai restaurants now in the market. My favorite is Taste of Thailand. Definitely recommend there. That is absolutely delicious. There's also a place called Tea and Bun that does some ramen and steamed buns. That's absolutely delicious as well. There's far too many places to
Yeah.
you need to work on that.
Yeah, and also some amazing places from some really good coffee. I know we have some Middle Eastern students on the call as well, so you're very welcome to have loads of restaurants and cafes that offer Middle Eastern food.
Thanks, Toby. I can see you've put some information there in the chat. Do you want to just talk through what you've posted?
Yeah, so I'll just go reinforcing to Maggie just the next steps that we would take in supporting students who may have been harassed or bullied. So how we'd support the student, how we'd investigate the resolutions and the preventive measures moving forward. So just she understands that we do have a policy on that, and there's a policy on our website that she can take a look at if needed.
Thank you, Toby. We're close to the end now, but I'm going to go all the way back to the beginning, to the introductions, because I noticed that Ruth has joined us. So we mentioned that we have a colleague based in Lagos. Ruth, say hello.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ruth Orai. I'm based here in Lagos, Nigeria. Great to be on the call.
Great. Thank you, Ruth. So we're going to wind up now with some of our frequently asked questions. So we'll leave as much time as you like for any other questions you have, but we know that these are questions which are asked of us often. So we'll do a little bit of role play and go through these. Jake, how can I enroll if I haven't received my visa yet?
You can't enroll if you haven't received your visa yet. So you need your visa to enter as a student and to come study at the university. So, and if you haven't received your visa, you cannot enroll.
And you can't receive your visa until you have your CAS. So going back through the process, you just need to provide all of the information that Amy and Nico will ask you for so that the CAS can be issued.
Toby, can I live anywhere in the UK?
No, you can't live anywhere in the UK. You need to live within a commutable distance to attend all your classes. It's very important that this is done moving forward. I think during your induction talks, especially if you're on this call and you're studying a foundation program, there's some new laws that have been passed, which means that you need to attend all your class. I mean, we generally tell you that anyways because you're paying for the course, but there's a limit to the amount that you'd be able to miss, and we will tell you more about that when you come and join us during the induction week. Tim, can I work to fund my studies and accommodation?
Yeah, absolutely. You'll know that in order to receive your CAS and make your visa application, you will have to provide the right information about your finances to show that you do have enough funds to meet your living costs and pay your fees. But once you're here, that student visa does allow you to work for up to 20 hours per week during term time. And as many hours as you like during the holidays. So don't think that you can rely on working to meet all of your costs. You will need to have the right financial background. But once you're here, you can work 20 hours a week during term time and more hours during the holidays if you need some additional funds. Toby, when do I have to pay the second instalment of my fees? Jake, when do I have to pay the second installment of my fees?
21st of March, I think. The second installment of your fees are due in week 9 of teaching. I think that's the 21st of March, but don't quote me. Matthias, do I need to buy a laptop to study?
It's always a good idea to have a good decent laptop. There's a library, there's 24/7 access, as already mentioned, so there's plenty of IT kit there, and there's also other resources you can make use of. But if you want to buy a laptop, we'd definitely recommend it, and we can, when you get here, you can also look at buying some good preconditioned, pre-used laptops that have been refurbished, and we can offer you a bit of advice on that as well. And what is the last day I can arrive in the UK? Who wants to take that question? Who's up for it? Toby, back to you.
The last day you can arrive is obviously the Friday before orientation and enrollment. I mean, I'm going to tell you that naturally because as I said, throughout this whole webinar, I want you to arrive in time to attend the inductions. But in the worst case scenario, I believe if you are studying a pre-master's course, the last day that you can arrive and enroll is the Monday of your teaching, which I believe was the 20th of January. If you are an undergrad student, the last day to enroll is the 31st of January, which would be the Friday of teaching week 2. Understandably, teaching week 2, the Friday is a 13-week program. You've probably missed quite a big percentage of your studies. We do still think that you'd be able to, be successful and pass that course, but it's going to be a lot of interactions between ourselves and your tutors to make sure that you get the best outcome. And finally, to Jake, I'll go to Jake on this one. What's the first thing?
This is for Matthias. He's been practicing.
Jake or Matthias, anyone. What is the first thing I should do once I arrive in the UK?
I am going to answer this because I've been practicing this one, everyone. So the first thing you should do when you arrive in the UK is you should contact our student services team so that we know you're in the country. And then, as was mentioned before, think about booking some travel in advance. If you're looking for a kind of private transfer or book a train, but we would strongly recommend you don't jump into a taxi, any old taxi at the airport, and ask them to take you to Plymouth, because that will be very expensive and it will take a long time. My personal recommendation, as I used to work in London, is get yourself to London Paddington if you're arriving at a London airport, and then you'll be able to jump on a lovely fast train down to Plymouth. There's lots of space. You can put your bags down and relax. And that's my recommendation. Thank you. I think that's the final question, is it? Back to you, Tim.
Matthias, would you like to explain your backdrop? Because I think you have an image similar to the one we have on screen there.
I do. So this is the National Fireworks Competition. If you're lucky enough to be in Plymouth in the 3rd week of August, it typically is. It's somewhere between the 16th and the 19th of August. There's a national UK fireworks competition over 2 days. The very best companies for pyrotechnics and fireworks meet in the Plymouth Sound in this kind of historic waterfront, and it's a totally free event. You go and watch it, and you watch 6 teams compete to be the very best at fireworks and explosions and fun, and who wouldn't want that? And you can even hire a boat and go out into the Sound and watch it, or like my wife does, you mentioned swimming a lot, she likes to swim into the sea, which you must only do if you're trained to do it and you've taken some time to get used to it, but you can swim in the sea and watch the fireworks, which is also amazing.
Fantastic. Thank you, Matthias. Any other questions? I think we're up to date with the chat. Toby, do you want to take that one? I see there's a new question dropped in there from Ankit.
Yes, Ankit. So when you've arrived in Plymouth, I guess the easiest thing you could do is just come to the college. Come to 15 Portland Villas, Plymouth, PL4 8AA. I will put the address again in the chat. Come here, you meet the student experience team, meet everybody else that's assisted in your journey getting here to Plymouth, and we will tell you the next steps and show you around.
Great, thank you, Toby. Any more questions, anybody? Or Ruth, Ellie, anything you would like to add?
Yeah, I just wanted to add to our pre-master students, in line with living within Plymouth, that we have this progression scholarship up to £2,000. If you're able to get 85% attendance and about 75 academics. So it's very important for you to focus on achieving that. Live within Plymouth, attend your classes. So £2,000 is a whole lot that will help you as you progress to your master's.
Good point. Thank you, Maria.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then for our undergraduate students, I think, like Mary has said before, is a very safe environment. So you don't need to be scared. And you have the student experience team to help you out in case you scared of having culture shock or anything. It's actually a very cool environment and you will enjoy it in the end of the day. Thanks.
Thank you, Ruth. Ellie, any final words from Clever?
The only thing that we wanted to ask was if anyone's booked accommodation with us already, if you could pop us an email just to let us know your arrival date, just so we can make sure everything's ready for you after Christmas.
Great. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. If there are no more questions, we'll wind up there.
Yeah. Sorry, Tim. I think the last thing I was just going to say is possible closing dates over the Christmas period from next week. So we will be shut from the 5 p.m. on the 24th of December, and we will be reopening on the 2nd of January.
Hello.
Hi, Farhan. You all right?
Yeah, I just had one question. I saw the whole thing. I just had one question.
Of course.
Sure, go ahead.
Sir, the question is, what kind of dress shall I wear when I come? I mean, I don't know the weather and temperature and everything. And shall I carry any water or food with me? I don't know, when can I eat next?
So, yeah, I'm happy to answer that question, Farhan. The temperature at the moment is around 8 degrees. So you'd probably need something like I'm wearing, probably a little fleece, some jeans, and some regular trainers would be fine. The weather in Plymouth or the weather in the UK generally, sometimes it can't make up its mind, just like me. So you might need like a coat with a hood, potentially, or an umbrella if you have one. In regards to food, it completely depends on your preference of what you like to eat. That could vary from, halal or general, dietary requirements. So you can bring your food, but there's a supermarket and there's little shops right around the college and the campus. So you don't have to walk too far to get any food.
Thanks, can also, Toby.
Yeah, go on.
No, I was just going to say on the clothing, I think the key to staying warm is layers. So it's not just about having a big coat, is it? It's about having layers. So t-shirt, jumper, hoodie, just so that you can add layers or remove them if you get too warm or too cold. So, it's not extreme, the climate here, but it may be a little bit cooler than you're used to. Also, trousers not shorts in the winter.
Yes, I understood.
Shoes not sliders, just basic sensible stuff. 2 pairs of socks if it gets really cold. But don't be too afraid of the weather. It's really not that extreme. It's variable, as Toby mentioned. It can be, if I look outside the window at the moment, it's bright blue sky, sun shining. That probably won't be the case in an hour or two. It can change during the course of a day. So you just need to be prepared. Maybe a lightweight waterproof jacket as well.
Yeah, I have a question. I just want to pretend I'm a student and I'll be arriving Plymouth after 24th. And
but you haven't paid your fees, Maria. You can't come.
So I'm wondering, you said this college will be closed. What about the accommodation providers? Will they also be gone? So when I arrive, I want to be sure I will find someone to help me settle down within this period when we'll be on holidays.
So I know at Clever we're closed from tomorrow afternoon. We don't reopen until we've got 2 members of staff back in on the 2nd of January. So we're closed over Christmas as well.
You do need to be aware that the Christmas and New Year holiday is quite a long break now in the UK. So most places will be closed from the 24th until after New Year. So the 2nd of January, and many organisations will be closed until the following Monday to the 6th of January. If you want to get in touch with us by email, then we'll probably be able to stay on top of email during that holiday period. But for all of the UK, just don't expect people to be in offices during those 10 days or so.
Yeah, but not to worry. I have as well just put in the emergency phone number in the chat. So feel free to add on WhatsApp or contact if you run into any trouble during that period. The hotels will still be open. There will be still Airbnbs available in the city if you need that. But just understanding that things won't operate fully until the 2nd of January 2025.
That's fine. Thank you.
You're welcome, Maria.
We look forward to welcoming you, Maria. Any more questions? Okay, great. We'll wind up there. Thank you, everybody who's attended, all of our future students. We very much look forward to welcoming you to Plymouth. Thank you to all of my colleagues in McCall, Ruth and Maria in Nigeria, Ellie from Clever, and everybody here who's in the college. A final particular thank you to Amy, because this is one of the last things she'll do during her time with us. So thank you, Amy, for your entertaining flyovers over the last year or so. And thank you everybody for attending. And we'll see you soon.
All the best.
Bye everyone.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Take care. Bye.
Thank you so much.
Chukwudi Agbo. Fisi fucking